G'day guys, how we doing? Whew, that light is pretty intense. Let's bring you down a little bit. There we go. How's that? A little bit better. Still quite intense. Still quite intense. There we go. Beautiful. Have a look at some of these settings this time, since we're on the mobile. Gift Star from the 18th to the 24th of November, 2023. Event introduction. What does it mean? I've got no idea. Daily missions. Ends in 5 days. Set coconut drink as live goal. Coconut drink, beach day, and Gold Coast. Oh, so there's like things that you're supposed to set. Why is no one telling me these things? So coconut drink, beach day. All right. Well, let's just put that one there up. Here we go. Reset the live goal. Sweet. We're chasing a beach day, or is it the other one? Let's have a look-see here. Gold Coast. We'll put on a beach day. That strikes me as a bit more sensical. There we go. Happy-go-lucky days. Okay, team, we are back. Hey, Robert. We're back. I'm working with some egg tempera, and we're making a cowboy picture. One crazy layer at a time. So, my phone's on 33%, which is fantastic. So we're going to chuck this back in. Bam. And we're going to do some sound checks. Robert, can you be my sound check advisor? Fantastic. All right, Robert. Sound check advisor. We're going to do some tests. You're going to tell me if the sound improves or gets dramatically worse. In just a second, once I can figure out what I'm supposed to be doing here. There we go. Okay. Oh, thanks, Troy. I appreciate that. It's hopefully we can get some originals available instead of just being sold and gone. Because I'd like to make some available via the website. That'd be pretty cool. Okay, sound-wise, how's the sound? Sounds good. Sounds good. Now tell me, Robert. We're about to do an experiment, and you were in charge of this. Tell me. I'm going to turn this down to here. How is it now? Is it better or is it worse? What do you like, before or now? Now or before? Thanks, Tim. I'm waiting on you, Robert. Did we improve it or did we make it worse? That's the question. Now is better. Now is better? Mean. All right, now I'm going to do this. Tell me, did I improve it or did I make it worse? Does it sound better now or when you said now before? Are we better or worse? That's the question. Did we improve it? Did we make it worse? Hey DJ, appreciate that, you legend. Better. I'm just waiting for my official sound guy to come back. Robert Boring, 657. Better. I think it was worse. So the most recent change is better or worse? I'll tell you what, to save us time, I'm going to go halfway between. There we go. I'm going to put it on. So it's the receiver connection. So I'm going to put the receiver on -10, which means it doesn't pick up as much surround sound. Hey, Steve. It doesn't pick up as much surround sound. It just picks up the voice where it can grab it. But if I flick things and make noises around the room, it won't capture that as much. Anyway, we're working with egg tempera. So let me sneak along down here. Get this little cloth. Got a drip that I let fly onto the ground here. I'll wipe that up, perfect. And I was in the process of adding a bunch of, hello from Spain, you wildcat. And Tio, absolute pleasure to have you here, you legend. Let me bring you forward here a little bit, there we go. How's that positioning, team? Now guys, please let me know if the whole artwork isn't in the shot. Please tell me, because the goal is that you can see the whole thing. This is the edge here. If you can't see my finger whacking the edge, then I need to do some adjustments, but I want you to see the whole picture. So please make sure that you can. If you can't, I will make adjustments. There we go. Let's slap some of this through here. Too many people put up with it when it's in the wrong spot. Let me stop and recalibrate it, that's the thing. Fantastic, I'm glad it's all good. Now, you'd be wondering why if you've been here yesterday and thinking, oh yeah, I see where that painting's going, and now it's been brought out today and it's in a completely different spot, that is not your fault. That is my fault. I did a quick stint on Bigu Live. It's pretty fun actually. It's not as social, I find. Everyone, it's more like a stand-up comedy routine where you sit there talking and everyone in the room's just silent. So, but I had someone telling me that I had to give it a go. So I tried it. We might try it some more. We'll see how we go. Hey Daly, thank you very much. I appreciate that. You're champion. This one here, we've made so far entirely from egg. You're going to keep on doing so. Keep on layering up the egg. In this case here, a little bit of white into my tan. Mix this up, lovely. I'm going to splash this around. Here we go. Beautiful. Excuse me. Thank you. Trying to unlock my inner cowboy. Connect with this painting more, I guess. There we go. Beautiful. Keep sneaking up in here. Just building it up layer by layer, team. Just move that handbook out of the way. Stand back here and just scoopity. Yeah, it's funny. I can never decide what colour these pictures are going to turn out in when I start them. But when you get started, start applying the paint, it feels so natural. The decisions, you're like, yes, green, yes, Venetian, yes, this, yes, that. Which is sort of wild, because you never really have an ironclad plan. You always let it divert and change, which I find kind of wild. I like that. Hello, commission cowboy, not a commission cowboy, fun cowboy. I wanted to play around with a new support. So when I say support, that's what you put the art on. The rigidity of this sheet that I'm using, I want to use pigments on the support and now using gouache. So this picture here is a combination of gouache and pigments. A little bit wild, a little bit different, and I need to see how it will adhere. Here's some fancy words, and I'll explain them. They're pretty basic. They're big long words for really basic things. How it adheres to the substrate. In this case, the support has been sanded and given a very, very light gesso, and then we've attacked it with powdered pigments and egg yolks, and then we've attacked it with our gouache pigments. Now, the powdered pigments are not my favorite. I enjoy using gouache. The little bit of guar gum in the paint makes a huge difference to the way it flows and adheres to the surface. Vastly preferable, in my opinion. But every artist is different. That's just what I reckon. And my opinions were no way gospel. For someone in particular, no. It's a weekend project in between projects. I wanted to have some fun. Painting a cowboy. Doing something a little bit more wily. Got some landscapes I need to work on. Got some portraits, characters to work on. But sometimes you need to take a little bit of time. Pick up a random project. This is the definition of play. There's no intentions there. We don't need something specific. We just need to enjoy ourselves. I love a painting with that as the motivation. Imagine that, starting a piece of work and thinking to yourself, the goal of this piece of work The reason for its existence is for me to have fun. There we go. Beautiful. Lovely. And then you sneak up here. Oh, now we're talking. String a few of these little bits out. Nice. Yeah, jump off that sienna. Just want to be on sienna every day, but you do need to get a bit more creative. Reminds you of your stepdad. That's pretty cool, Sarah. I like that. I like that. All right, how are we sitting? I kind of want to put some blue through it. I want some lighter blue, but not fully blue. I'd like to get some more of a whitish tinge in there too. So I'm going to convert my pink container, bank, with some ultramarine, which is a color we used well back at the start. So this will be interesting. Here's our container. It's like a pastel pink, a little bit of ultramarine. See that? We're going to need more than that, but it's, there we go. Just 2 drops. That's all we need. I'm going to put this down here. Screw this lid on. Voila. I'm going to bring this right in here close. Too much yellow. Betty thinks we've ruined it. Yeah, fair enough, Betty. The whole painting's awful. I should start again. In fact, I'm going to go do 5 years in a plumber's apprenticeship before I come back to painting, just so I can think about what I've done. Here we go. Okay, this is our colour. Voila. So it's more of a violet. It's ultramarine blue with some pastel pinks. That's the colour we get. Can I bring it any closer? Yeah, that's quite cool. And you can see a little bit about the viscosity of the paint. See how it almost behaves like ink? That's egg yolks, and pigment, guar gum, and water. And this colour here is going to have a huge impact on how those yellows, technically siennas, combine them with those greens, combine them with those reds. I'm just going to play with it. So it's early days. We might layer it further, we might not. The goal is play. And when the goal is play, there are literally no wrong answers. It's just for fun. Just for fun. What's the side of bubbles? The side of bubbles. The side of bubbles. Preferably you don't want bubbles in the paint. There is a little bit in this, but it's totally okay. I'm quite wild with the paint that it doesn't actually matter if a few bubbles get in the picture. It almost captures more expression. But I can see why some artists wouldn't like them. Idle. Hello, how you doing? Hello. All right. Oh, I see with the side of, oh, I see. So you're saying that I'm doing my painting with the side of bubbles. It's a restaurant joke. I get it, Leilani. Yeah. So if you're an egg temper purist, you're like, I don't want bubbles. I want to make it exactly what I want. Well, I prefer to actually own a little bit of the medium. In this case here, that's bubbles. Egg tempera likes to bubble. And so when you do fast strokes, they almost bubble up a little bit, like speed bubbles. That's what they like. That's what fast egg tempera strokes stand for. Speed bubbles. There we go. Beautiful. Did you get back to me or not yet? That's a good question, Leilani. For the commission? No, I haven't got onto commissions yet. I'll start smashing those out on Monday morning. You can't do everything all the time. There's that movie which deceptively said you could, everything all at once. But still paint on the weekend, but lower the priorities from being everything all at once to focus on just enjoying painting on the weekend if you can. The mental well-being of using paint. Take the weekends as an opportunity to play, to construct gently, to work on something which isn't a major project, which is just sort of silly, quirky, fun, wild. Sometimes they'll turn out to be the best projects, maybe. Or they'll be a total waste of your time. They'll never be that. If the objective was play, they can only stand to benefit you. Here we go. Oh, Thanksgiving in the US, that's exciting. Ah, that's annoying, Leilani. Don't worry, I'll get back to you. And we'll have all the incredible plans. Here we go. A little bit more of this through there. Lovely. I'm going to keep doing that through here. I like this colour in the background. Makes the cowboy pop. I think that's coming down to the right stage. This top here actually turns in here higher. I've underestimated the amount of space that top needs to come in. It comes into there. I was cutting there a little bit. Beautiful. A bit more of this. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Put that through there. Bring that colour in nice and strong. Lovely. And then right up here at the top, oh, let me touch that there. Up here at the top, that's in the right place. Yeah, I'll just put that in there too though. All the way up. Top corner, top corner. Thanks, Darren. Appreciate you. There we go. You know, there's something unique about it when you actually use paint that you've made. It does feel kind of primal. It's kind of like cooking fish that you've caught, or eating tomatoes and potatoes that you grew on the farm. Using paint that you've made, you feel this weird connection to the paint. It's nothing weird as such. I don't want to weird you guys out, but you do feel the same way you feel about a potato that you raised in your backyard. You feel the same way about paint that you made with your own hands. So if you ever get the chance, I really, really encourage you to try it. You'll have a whole different philosophy. It's like, you'll feel like using other people's paint is kind of like looking after someone else's kid. You know, it's nice. It's great to be surrounded by that youth. But something different happens in your brain, in your perspective, and in your thoughts when it's your own kid. Similar thing happens with paint. There we go. Beautiful. All the way up to the top there. Now we're going to swap this brush over. So I'll wipe down that. A couple little drips splashing on the ground. 1, 2, get that one. 3, come with me. And then where's number 4? There we go. Perfect. Ideal. Did we bring more than one jar? She's the most lively. That's fantastic, Summer. I'm glad to hear it. We've got a couple of jars. A bit of paint, not a whole lot of paint. It's a Sunday session. And like I say, we're just playing. We're not trying to change the world here. Maybe we are changing the world. No, we're just trying to have a little bit of a play. That green. I sort of want a pinky colour now. So I'm going to grab this white. This is my white container. And get my red container. And put a bit of the red container into the white container. Not too much. Just a bit. There we go. And then I'm going to grab a paintbrush. Voila. Give it a little mix. Whoo-wee. It's powerful. Let's have a look down here and see what colour we got. Is that what I'm after? I think we'll get this. Wet it into this. Be like, he's just splicing up a storm. That is the plan. And then I'm going to grab a little bit of, here we go. This is Oprah Pink. Bit of an expensive colour, but really, really fun to use. What paint do I use? This is egg tempera. Egg tempera. And I combine it with a little bit of guar gum, pigment on a rigid substrate, rigid support, which is, in this case, an AC panel. But Masonite's one of the best things. I like AC panels, but I prefer wood, I think. There's this beauty to the use of wood, which feels natural, primal, organic. It's sort of speaks to you. Anyway, get back in here. Let's chuck some of this around. Let's get a bit of this. This is going to make his beard really, really fun. This is like a colour you wouldn't normally see expressed in a cowboy, but in this case, it's going to make a massive difference. Good. Pastel neon pink. It's a little bit too neon for my liking, but it's okay because as it goes on, we can start to blend it through with things like magenta and have our own little effects on what we want it to actually look like. There we go. Wonderful. And through there. Cool. Now we're starting to talk. This is what I want it to look like, team. This is the color palette. And are we... Yo, my boy painting again. Fair enough. I'm just going to do a little bit of a zoom here, guys, because I feel like you're quite far away. And I want to bring you closer. So you're going to come on in. Now, please tell me if you lose some of the painting. I want to make sure the whole thing's in the shot. I think that's all in the shot. I'm just going to angle this up there a little bit. There we go. How's that, team? That should be good. Should be good. Good? Good. Maybe just one little step back. There we go. All right. All right. Pink was a good move. Pink was a good choice. Keep attacking it with these ambitiously wild colours. There we go. Hello. All around your eyeball, through there. Come on down here. Nice. Nice. Beautiful. Get that intensity through here. Oh, make sure my posture's in form. God, I get so lazy sometimes. When you start crunching over like this when you're painting, bad. You gotta be back. Good posture, like there's a piece of string pulling you up from your toes to the top of your head. Otherwise you get a weird kink in your back. And it's awfully uncomfortable, guys. Don't put yourself through that. Have that good posture. Really stand in front of the work. Spar with it. Now we're talking around this nose here. I need to stand back a bit, guys. I need a longer reach on my hand. Is that Vincent? No, it's not Vincent. It's an angry old cowboy. But I like your style. I like where your head's at. That's an exciting idea. No. Let me just go like this. I can't seem to figure out where I want this to be. There we go. So I'll show you down here on the floor. This is this little collection of stuff here on the floor. There's my little paint containers. Ignore this. This is the air purifier. And just bring you up here, back to where the painting is. I'd like to get the whole thing in the shot, but it is what it is. Maybe I should put the whole painting down lower. Should I put the painting down lower? It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's presentable. Maybe we want to go down lower. That'll be fine. There we go. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate that. Vincent as a cowboy. Kind of a fun idea. Kind of a fun idea. Make sure we got that all under control. We do. All right. Coming up here. Coming up here. All right. I'm going to just splash this around. There we go. And up through there. Nice. Nice. Beautiful. All through here. Cowboy Vincent. That's quite funny, actually. That's growing on me. Beautiful. Lovely. Making good ground. He's using only one colour. Well, we are at the moment. If that's correct. We are just on the one colour buzz at a time. I like it that way. We go through one colour, then we go to the next colour, then we go to the next colour. All right, speaking of, next colour. Put that one down. Let's grab a bit of this here. Drop it into this here. Beautiful. Wrap up this here. We're putting burnt sienna into green to give us this really, really muddy, dark tone. That's what I want. Thanks, Betty. It's fake. Author is talking about his job. Beautiful. An author? I'm not an author. And I'm a painter though. So yes, you will hear about my job because that's exactly what I'm doing right now. My job. But like, it'd be pretty funny to be in here and then someone's like, hey, what's your creative process? And for me to be like, guys, can we not talk about work, please? God, like, the audacity of it. So, I'm not sure which part's fake for you, but I'm excited that you've got an opinion, and I'm excited that we've managed to create a space here where you feel confident enough to share it. So, that's two big pluses. So even though it's entirely fake and that he's not actually a painter, but he talks about his job as a painter and it's all outrageous, at least we're creating a space which can hear those opinions. And I give that a big old gold star, if you ask me. Welcome to the team, Nico. Welcome to the team. Now, here we go. So you construct these wrinkles in his face. Just going to dabble with it. Going to roll. Ooh, actually, I watched Yesterday the other day. The movie Yesterday. Really good, actually. Made me think about artistic process. Massively made me think about it in terms of what it means to actually be a creator of art. In Yesterday, it was about the music. But in my life, it made me think about art itself, especially, I know we hate talking about this, but especially in terms of the idea of AI art becoming relevant. And the movie basically put forward the premise that no matter what happens in your life or the future, so what happens to your creations, if you went into a parallel universe, those creations would have the same weight, and therefore it has nothing to do with the process of their creation. So basically, if you took the Beatles to a parallel universe that did not know about the Beatles would still be relevant. Taking away the process of creation from the relevance a bit. It's interesting. It's interesting. But anyway, dabbled with that, and Paul McCartney was in it as an actor. Not the Paul McCartney, an actor of Paul McCartney. I should make that clear. Who is your subject of work? I'll show you. I'll show you. Here we go. Who wants to see? Here's our subject. Wow. Am I a Beatles fan? I'm a fan of all music. I'm a fan of all art. I'm a fan of human expression. Things that make us more human. Absolutely. Does it have to be quantified as a specific form of art or a specific band? Not all the time. My very, very favourite is Kip Moore, because I love that down old school country music. Does it have to be Kip Moore? Nah. Human expression, fundamentally, is good. That's what we're after here, team. That's what we're after. There we go. Let's splash this around. You can go with this, you can go with that. You can go with this, you can go with that. You can go with us. There we go. We might add just a little bit more white to this. Is that one of the Beatles? Sarah, this is not one of the Beatles. But we're talking about Beatles. Because of the movie yesterday. Great movie. Great movie. But it was interesting too how times change. It was released in, was it 2018? I forget. But the beauty behind the movie was that in the Beatles, it was all artistry, beautiful artistry. And in the Beatles were all beautiful artistry, but then when it came down to presenting them in a 2018 or 2020, whatever the time was, they sort of didn't like the album covers of the Beatles and that old school stuff. And they actually, it's called Yesterday, and they actually twisted it and made it all about him. And that was really interesting because with the Beatles, their covers, their songs, everything they did wasn't about them. It was about the world and the human experience. And I think that's pretty cool. But nowadays, celebrities and their albums tend to be very, very individual focused to build intimacy between the record and the individual. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like there was something when the Beatles were around, which may not be around as much anymore. There we go. Beautiful. There we go. Yellow Submarine and all that. Yeah. Yeah. See, they used to do a lot of playing together, the old Beatles. All the time. And so they were just masters at their craft when they got discovered. And there's a beauty behind that. And the funny thing about that is that when they actually did go big, when everyone discovered the Beatles and they went absolutely viral and everyone wanted to hear about them, who are the Beatles? Overnight success, amazing, blah, blah, blah. They released that song, Help. Want to help? I need somebody, help. Not just anybody. That song, because as they put it at the time, he was slightly overweight, he hated himself, he didn't feel like a success, he was a loser, and now all of a sudden he was this world champion overnight success. And he just wrote the song Help, which was basically a song singing about adjusting to fame, trying to adjust to something so fast that came out of the blue. Kind of beautiful, actually. There we go. Beautiful. There we are. Sergeant Pepper, just about. Come Together. Yeah, good song. Good song. There we go. Slapping around some paint. Slap the bass. There we go. Really, in this painting experiment, let's call it an experiment, we really want to make sure when we put a brush stroke on, we commit to its length. And we really let it express rather than chicken scratching away at the work. Expressive brush strokes. Don't say with 50 brush strokes what you can say with one. There's always this pocket just in front of the ear that I always forget about in my paintings. It's quite funny, actually. G'day, Vernon. Thanks, mate. It's cowboy time. It's a cowboy's fitting. You got me. There we go. Splash around that a little bit. We're going to actually tighten this up a little bit through there. There we go. There we go. Beautiful and wild, team. Beautiful and wild. Did New Zealand have its own version of the American cowboy? We did. I wouldn't call them cowboys as much as I'd call them pioneers. Cowboys need to have that immense size of the American West. We never had that. We never had that. We had a place very remote on the other side of the world, which was Yeah, covered in very, very dense bush. So the ability to jump on a horse and travel to the middle of nowhere was not really the case. But the ability to cut a track through the bush and then charter those very, very well-known lines, or less well-known in those times, but go where someone had gone before, that was the strategy of the pioneers. All right, let's throw around some more. I think we're going to use this one. But it's too runny, so how are we going to fix that? Questions. Let's chuck some... Let's chuck some of this into this one. There we go, mix that up. Get a nice warm brown. The sound of the brush stirring the paint. Yeah. I don't mean to knock you out with it, but that is a interesting thing. Just gonna go like this, guys. Move you back a little bit more. There we go. There's your position. Fantastic. Just gonna stand right back and spar with it now. Right back here. There we go. There we go. Perfect. There we are. Really scratch it on in there. And on to, or back to, my pink. What brand of jeans do I wear? Op shop, second-hand shop, whatever I can find. Not big on going to the store and buying brand new jeans, it's not my style. I like getting a second-hand bargain. There we go. Beautiful. There we are. Another little step there in the direction of creating a cowboy. Yeah, this one's a bit fun. It's a bit different. It's a bit different. This isn't the standard colour palette we use. We did start with the blues and blacks, moving on to the greens, blues and blacks, then to those, what was that? That was sienna and green, flashed in some neon pink. We've been quite wild with this palette. Certainly, the next step, it needs a flash of black to pull some details back into the face, and then highlights. And then once those two are done, I think we'll be there. You really experiment with paints. So is powder better? Good question. Is powder better? Is it? I would say no, and the reason I would say no is when it comes to powder, powder leans into the opaqueness of egg tempera, and we don't want to lean into that so much. I like to get a little bit of transparency, which guar gum gives me. So I use colour paste, which is effectively very, very high quality gouache, and combine that with the egg tempera to form the layers of a painting. And then use a little bit less water. But look, each to their own. There's a million different ways to do this, and every way is unique and not wrong. The only things you can impede on are things like archival, how archival is the work, and the more creative you get, the less archival it can potentially become because it hasn't been tested and it hasn't lived for as long. So, whatever you do, make sure you've got confidence in its longevity, which is good for art. It's cool in art, especially if you want art to last forever. It's cool when it does. So, in this case here, to ensure the longevity of it, sometimes we'll put it behind glass, sometimes we'll put UV coats on top. We'll do a bunch of different stuff, but typically, if you leave the stuff long enough to set, it will last into perpetuity. It's great stuff. It's great stuff. All right, the question is, I don't have any white we can use. I want pure white to play with. So the next thing we'll do is we'll add some blacks into it. Black. And you'll be like, no, don't ruin it. I'm like, it'll be fine. He says before he ruins it. Here we go. A little bit of black in the paint there. Screw the lid on. Safe and sound. Paintbrush, we'll use this one here. We'll clean it off a little bit first. Voila. As opposed to acrylic. Acrylics are fine. Acrylics are fine. They are made from synthetic compounds, which over 500 years will yellow. That's a fact. And then the other thing you're going to run into with acrylics is that they are made with these synthetic compounds. The one you want to watch out for is acrylic polymers. People are like, they're non-toxic, it's fine. Does non-toxic mean you can also sit there and sniff them all day and that'll be great for you? The answer is no. So when we talk about sniffing glue, acrylics are really, really similar to PVA glues. And if you're going to sit there and work on something for 6 hours, it's right there in front of your face. It's like laying out PVA glue and then just sniffing it for 6 hours. It's not good for you. So although I love acrylics, don't just have a ventilated space, do it outside on a mild day. So there's not that much wind. The paint will stay and not dry out and things, but please, please, please. Inside with a window cracked is not enough for acrylics. Don't do it inside. Don't do it inside. Don't do oils inside. Only do oils outside when the wind's actually facing away from you. People are like, he's extreme about this sort of stuff. Yeah, when it comes to keeping brain cells in your frontal lobe, I probably am a little bit extreme. Because what piece of work is worth the artist being destroyed? Like, that's literally that's physical sacrifice, losing your frontal lobe to making art. I'd prefer to know that the artist actually grew having made the art. So I like to know that actually, with this paint, not only is it primal, long-lasting and all that sort of stuff, the artist walked away better off having used it. That's pretty cool. I can get on board with that. Safe practice, guys. No one really talks about it because artists are sometimes so desperate to have someone interested in their paintings or to give them any attention that no one cares that they're torturing themselves with chemicals prior to selling a work. We wouldn't want that. We don't want that. All right, let's get in here and sort this out. Let's get this in here. There we go. Respirator, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. How many artists do that? How many artists would wear a respirator for 9 hours straight in their basement while they're trying to paint with their nose this far away from the artwork? I'll give you the answer there. The answer is pretty much zero. It's not exactly zero, but it's very close to. So, breathe, but you have something in front of you which isn't going to kill you if you breathe it. Here we go. It's only safety if it's actually used. Otherwise, it's just a suggestion that gets ignored. You'd be like, well, that's the silliness of the artist. Yeah. But at the same time, if we know that no artist is doing it, then there's something difficult or wrong with it. And I'd say it's actually difficulty. It's very hard to paint with a mask on, obscuring your vision, sight, and breathing. There we go. There we go. Let's get a few of these little drops out of here. Perfect. Please do Mona Lisa. Use acrylic with your version. Appreciate the idea. And sometimes we do copy other people's works. But honestly, I think it's more fun to see something completely new and different. Something creative and fun about that, unique and different. What I'd really like right now is some white. That'd be a game changer. But I don't think I have enough white to make it happen. We'll dabble, but I don't think we have enough. Okay. Let's give it a go. Let's grab just a little bit of, oh, this might work actually. Last naughty color, guys, and then I'm out of pigment. Not out of pigment, out of my emulsion, my vehicle. Last color, it's gonna be yellow. Let's make it happen. All right. There we go. Beautiful. There we go. We are out of egg tempura. As fun as it has been. We ran out of egg. Just wipe up these little specks. Fun thing about egg tempura is it is just pigment and emulsion, so it's very, very easy to wipe it up as you go. Let's have a little look-see. Bang. Okay, so we've got a good character coming out there. It'll be a little bit blurry in a few of those pieces because what it's waiting on is that white, which I don't have with me right now. All our colours went a bit dark, so we managed to get that last little bit of pink, yellow in there. But now we need that white to really the last little bit out of it, and then we're all sorted. So white's up next. Once we get that in there, then we'll really know the direction the painting's going to take. But you can see his gruff expression. You know, he's holding that gun barrel, which sort of is still quite, that's his hand there. It's quite hard to see. And he's got the stick that you can sort of see coming through there. And he's in a sort of forward motion as if he's about to come on and seize control of a situation. He's got that frown. That's a well-used frown. He's done that millions of times, so that's quite fun within the picture. And then the darkness is where we want it to be. The darkness is pretty good. But yes, we need some more of that light colour. And then a few highlights. When I say highlights, I don't see flashes, enough flashes of red, fiery crimson, pow, onto it, or enough blue. We're talking about that cerulean blue, not just that deep aquamarine that you see down, a few parts down here, down here, but actually that deeper, more power, sorry, not deeper, that more zingy, powerful cerulean style blue. We want that red, that blue, plenty of yellow in there now, probably too much. It'll get overwhelmed by a lot of the white we put on, which will be fantastic. And you'll start to see too his collar coming in here, buttons coming down the shirt, and yeah, a couple of fun little aspects. You ask yourself, is there a coat? Is there a collar? Is there a buttoned shirt? What's going on? You start to slowly receive notifications, insinuations, hints of what he's wearing. And these red dots down the front are definitely one-to-one showing off what he's got going on, which is fantastic. So there we go. I think green is dominant colour in this painting. I know it could change though. 100% Tim. We kicked off with a lot of green in there because I felt like green, but you see the green's given away a little bit to that yellow, but in the face, the green and yellow play a massive role in his gruff expression. When we go in there with the highlights, Naples yellow will play a massive role, so we won't go for like a greyish white. When we want to go to off-white, it'll be Naples yellow. And that'll help blend in that yellow, and Naples yellow goes well with green. They're a nice pairing, that deeper green, Naples yellow, and then, yeah, the beard will really start to pop when we get those little white bristles coming into it. And I've got just the brush for it. It's this one here. One of these two. Because you can carry the pigment on it. See this one here, this one's really messy. It doesn't need to be good because it's doing that, just that scrapey, weird kind of detail. See how it flares out like that? That's perfect. It's exactly what we're after. And then we have this one here, which goes from a ton of bristles and thins down to just a few at the top. That's also perfect. See that? So half the bristles make it to the top, and the other half actually fade out. Perfect. That's our two brushes. They'll be doing a lot of the bristles for the bed, and maybe a few wisps of hair up here, but we won't overdo it. What it will do if we actually go too much on it is you'll start to notice this craft aspect in it, and once you start to see craft, you start to judge the whole thing against, if you're doing craft, then why doesn't it look exactly like the cowboy? We don't want to do that. We just want to insinuate that, okay, gruff, just a few strokes. And when I say just a few strokes, I mean maybe 5 or 7 good strokes that actually represent the beard. And then, but apart from that, you can already see, especially in these brush strokes here, on his upper lip and over the chin here, it has this bulge to it already, and that bulge represents tufts of hair. And then this line down through his chin line, you can see how it goes gruff. It's not a straight cut line, which gives you the insinuation of hair on his face. His frown, very, very intense right now. But as we add the highlights in and cut out some smoother wrinkles, you'll actually start to break that down a little bit. But that is a defining feature of his face, pretty important. And thanks, Johnny, you champion. Was this painted using egg paint? Yes, it was, Reggie. So it was using the paint I made yesterday, so we need to use it up today. That's essential. So we did have to give it a second, put it in the fridge, come back, use up the rest of it, and now it's all done and dusted. So we're out of egg paint. We're out of egg paint. It's half time. It's coming along well. It's coming along well. Quite thick. Did we go too thick? Maybe. I think we did good. And I think this will be a fun one to turn into prints, because its smaller version will be quite cool. Like in the A4 size, to actually get one this size, it'll have this very, very unique look to it. I should actually, rather than yarning about it, guys, because you've got it on the angle there, let me spin it slightly so you can see what I see. There we go. Is that? Here we go. Perfect. I'll just spin you around to face it a little bit more there. There we go. And there's the iPad. The iPad's not really that helpful though. Perfect. All right. So you can see one of the cool things about when you go for a, I'm in a chair here. Yeah. First slide. No. All right. Spin around here. One of the first things you'll notice when you work with a session for play, you stop gently, slowly filling in these big areas, and you actually put your focus towards just doing quick, abrupt strokes to fill in space and to change pigments where you see necessary. I love the shirt. The shirt's actually a red shirt, but it's got pink and yellow and these other colours in it that try and represent it. But I love underlined pink in the face of a masculine character. So this guy here has that pink in him, but no one's thinking he's like anything less than an absolute man. And I like that. I like that. So I like subtly including those colours that we don't attribute to masculinity and piling them on to manly creatures to try and actually form that correlation. I like that. And the thing I like about it the most is until I tell you that sometimes that happens, no one even notices it. You just see the masculine character. You wouldn't think anything else of it, which is fantastic. Matthew, moustache has been growing since I was 1st of November, and I'll be shaving it off on the 30th of November. Cheers, Joe. So we're going to keep it around for now, but it won't be a permanent fixture on my face. I don't think so. I prefer my lip clear. Feels nicer. I can't help it just to fiddle with it all the time. But I'm getting a lot of messages, DMs, people saying it ages me, which is not ideal. So there's plenty of time for a mustache. Anyway, there we go. Man, that's a bit of wild paint all over the show. Yeah, fun, fun, fun. Closer look at that. Yeah, so on future layers, I need to add a little bit more egg tempera to the paint. A little bit more egg tempera and a little bit more, a little less water. A little less water. Just make sure it's nice and thick. Anyway, guys, we'll talk soon. Thank you so much for joining in on this Sunday, and it's been an absolute pleasure to be here painting with you. Wishing you all the best from New Zealand studio, and I'm sure with a bit of luck, I'll see you soon. All right, guys. Bye.